Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Ritik and this is Ritikhe Updates. In this video, we are going to see about the Tamam Shud case, also known as the Somerton Man mystery. Happened in 30 November 1948 and 1st December 1948. This case isn't solved until today. 73 years of journey, this isn't also solved till now. So in 30 November 1948 in Adelaide in Australia, in the Somerton beach there, a man comes and sits in front of a rock. He just chills in front of a rock by just sitting there. He was very neatly and properly dressed. When I mean properly, like a pilot. He wore coat, suit, pant, polished shoes. He was also clean shaved. So as normal in beaches, every couples or people like that go for a walk there. So like that, a couple goes for a walk in the evening to night time. And also this man sits in front of that rock at like approximately 7 p.m. So a couple goes for a walk. This is the first couple goes for a walk and sees this man. They were like suspicious about this because they haven't seen this man in their country ever. So they asked themselves, have you ever seen this man anywhere? They both replied no. So that man were very new to these couples. So they didn't want to disturb that man and just went away because they thought he was just chilling. He came from another country to visit Australia, something like that, and they left him. Another couple in the night time comes for a walk and sees that and mosquitoes were all over his face and were biting him. And the second couple laughed at this man because nobody can not feel the pain of mosquitoes biting them, right? And on his face, just imagine. But they also didn't disturb that man and just went away because they thought that he was deeply sleeping. He was very tired that he fell asleep and didn't feel anything. So they just went away like the first couple did. And when the first couple came back to other walk in the morning, it was the 1st December 1948, they came back in the morning for a walk. And they saw that there were lots of crowd in front of that where the man was sitting, and out of curiosity they went and watched what happened and heard a news that this man had passed away. They were also very shocked to hear this news because they just saw him sitting last night, and the news that he died shocked them. So after the persons there called the police to investigate and to say what happened, and then the police came to saw what happened at the scene, and on the spot said that it was a heart attack. But for formalities they sent his body to postmortem, and the doctors said that this wasn't a heart attack. He wasn't murdered because there wasn't any bullet shots in his body, no knife cuts, anything. This is also not a heart attack, as I said. Then the police asked, then how did he die? And the doctor says, this might be because of poison. And the police asked, then find what poison he must have swallowed. Then we can find it in a shop or ask what he did, something like that. But the doctor replies, there is no clue of what that one poison he swallowed, and they have an explanation of that. They say he might have swallowed two poisons, and those two poisons must have created a chemical reaction, so they both have been dissolved in his stomach, and in his stomach they were interbleeding. So in his stomach it was bleeding but inside. That must have caused him his death, and the poison must have caused the interbleeding. So now the police check what he had in his pocket, something like that, and nothing. He had nothing in his pockets anywhere. After they tries to look what brand of coat he wore, but there is no label. There is trace of this label being on his coat, but everything was ripped off. So there is no label in his clothing. So the police can't handle all this, so they ask the higher official to come and investigate this case. And the higher officials come and takes the fingerprint of this man and sends all over Australia to find like birth certificate of this man, something like that. But no, Australians say that neither of these fingerprints match any babies born there. Then they send this all over the world and neither of these fingerprints match anything. And after this, higher official asked the clothing of this man to check properly what was inside and all, and found that in his pants pocket there is another pocket stitched inside that pocket. I think you understand. And this man gently opens the pocket which was stitched and found that something was written in a paper. It was written Tamam Shud. They thought that this might be his name or something, so like that they give the name to all the hospitals to check if any baby was born in this name, and they send this name to the government and ask, but no babies has these names after they were born. And after founding this paper, they give ads in newspaper on saying, if you have already seen any type of founds written in like this, please come and say it to us, something like that they give as advertisement. But nobody comes for some days and days. And waiting in that time, they get a phone call from the official railway station of Adelaide, and says that they found a suitcase there. And the person in railway station also gave publicity on saying, if you have lost your suitcase in the station, please come and take it. We have it in our office, something like that. But nobody come. So they thought this suitcase might be the man's suitcase who passed away. So they asked the higher officials to come and take it. So they opened the suitcase and found there are 5 to 6 more of coat suits like that man wore. And like his suit, these suits didn't also have the labels. There was nothing valuable in that suitcase, so they didn't do lots of stuff about that. After 2 to 3 months, a guy comes and says that I have a found similar that the found wrote Tamam Shud. The higher official didn't ask, why didn't you have come like the past 2 months or 3 months, anything like that, because they just wanted to solve this case out. So that man come and gave a note. The book's name was Rubaiyat. It was a 12th century book. They gently turned the page one by one, and in the last page they found a hole. They take the Tamam Shud paper and puts it on the hole. It fits perfectly on that hole. And this book was written in Persian. After they translated Tamam Shud in English, they found that it meant it is finished or it is the end, something like that. And the police and all asked this man, where did you get this book from? The man said, once I came to the Somerton beach, I was going back to my home and I lowered my window. A guy threw a book in my back seat, and this was the book from that. And in the last page of that book, they found some letters, numbers, lines all over the page, but they didn't know anything about it. And for a fact, this is also named as the Unbreakable Code by the Australian Navy till now. But in the bottom of that page, they found some numbers. They thought that was a phone number and telephoned it and tracked the number. It was 200 meters from where that man has passed away. They go and knock the door, and a woman with the children opens it. And the higher official and police says all the story about this man, like this man had died here, all this story what happened and all those jazz. They tell him that, and she says, no, I don't know all those stuff, leave me alone and all. But the police says, please just come and look at him, 10 minutes please. But in this time they buried that man, but they made a statue out of plaster, so that might help him. And they brought that girl where the statue was, and first seeing the statue, the girl fainted and fell down. After, the police and higher official got suspicious about that and asked very hard, do you know this man, everything like that. But that girl says no. After they ask, then why is your number in the back of this book? She asks the police to show the book and sees that she knows this book, and she says, I gave this book only to the person I loved during the World War II, not to this person. Then the police ask the girl to show the man's home, and all of them goes to see that man and knocks the door. This time they think that this man had murdered that guy and simply gave like clues to play game with the cops and all. Knocks the door and that man comes out, and now they explain another time about all this incident happened, and the girl asks, where is the book I gave you during the World War II? That man said, I still have it, and he brought and showed the book to everybody there. At this point, the cops, higher officials, everybody were blank. They didn't know what to do and everything about this. So they left this case like that, all over like this. This is still now unsolved just because this woman had died in 2007. What made the cops suspicious is that when you see a person you don't know, will you faint and fall down? I mean, I wouldn't do. Will anybody do like that? That was the question of the cops. But since she died in 2007, this case remains unsolved till now. I think we can find who that man is if we decode the code in the back of the book, but since it's unbreakable said by the Navy of Australia, we don't know if we could break that or decode it. This is the end of this interesting story. If it was interesting, say it in the comment. If you like this video, don't forget to like, and if you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss out another video like this. Goodbye.